Yay! Good morning, people of the internet. Welcome to Mystic Fitness Wednesday. I'm used to say Monday, but it's a Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning and it's beautiful outside. Enjoy the break in the heat of the summer. And we're gonna hot flow this morning. Enjoy a 75-minute class, and I invite you to come to a seated position to locate both body and mind on the mat. And if you are doing that and you're starting to locate, so you find a place, find also the very specific place in which you can find your center. Some of us find it physically in the body, some of us imagine it outside or in your mind. Your own take on it is never wrong. And start softening your breath, observing that center, maybe expanding it with your breath to hold you completely, mind and body. And with each breath, experience the being of one unit with that center. Keep on breathing and inhaling and exhaling, and make it a soft breath, a tender one. Expand those limits of the center and of your being. Maybe to include the idea of a practice today. Big breath in. And let it go. One more time. Big breath in. And let it go. And on your next inhale, open your eyes and smile. Roll your shoulders a couple of times. The head maybe bobs from side to side. Just introducing a little bit of movement. And then grab hold of your knees and round your back, tuck the chin in, maybe go back a little bit. Just hold it here, kind of like a half boat. And then come back to center, drop the belly, push the knees with your hands, but keep those elbows up and look up. So roll the shoulders back. It's a modification, obviously, of a cow, but actively push those hands into your knees. And then round yourself back to cat. or seated cat, maybe pushing back a little bit more, completely balancing. And then again, forward, slowly, wave-like motion. Push into the knees. Get those shoulder blades together behind your neck and then look up. So you're opening the upper chest, which is often neglected. And come back to center. Side bends are next. On your own time, rhythm and breath, and it doesn't matter which side is first. We're doing both sides. I like at the beginning of the class to support myself with the hand, so I don't let go. I just test the opening of my spine. Just a suggestion. But at the same time, I'm pushing that elbow back. So it's also an opening, again, of the upper chest, and especially the pectoral muscles, which are on the front of your shoulders. And we all, in this age, roll our shoulders forward. Nice. Come back to center. Walk the hands forward a little bit. Release the head. Maybe it gets to the floor, maybe it doesn't. Just release it a few times. Say no and yes. Maybe crunch the shoulders and then roll those shoulder blades back down to the direction of your lower back. And then come back to center and take your time again with a nice flow. Twist from side to side. Maybe pause at each side and then flow again. And take it a few times to each side. Option to do with the hands whatever you need. So you might want to open them and have them move around a little bit like a dance. Maybe go over your head and then to the other side to twist. Marry it to your breath. That's all that matters. So one more time each side, wherever you are, and meet me in the center. Interlace the fingers. If you need one more side, then do it. By all means, I'll wait for you. I might have been too quick. Bring the hands back up, interlace the fingers. Twist the palms of your hands so they are facing up. Drop the head forward. Try to not crunch the shoulders and try not to curve the lower back. So tuck that tailbone in and engage the belly. And then push those hands back while dropping the head forward. It's intense, by the way. And then release back to center. Bring the hands down as they are to your lap, I guess. And drop the head back. Now keep those elbows tucked in. And again, don't crunch the shoulders. One more time, hands up, palms of your hands facing up, push those hands back, drop the head in. This time maybe rotate the head from side to side. Bring the hands down to your lap, drop the head back, keep those elbows tucked in. Maybe again, move the head from side to side while dropped back. Nice. And come back to center. Open your feet to the mat and open your legs bent in front of you, a little bit away from your pelvis and not all the way opened as the width of the mat. Hands behind you, drop the legs from side to side. Push those glute muscles up when the top leg is coming in. Activate the core as well while pushing it, so it's an active windshielding. It's not just dropping them, right? And next time you're on the left side, leave them there. Shift your weight into your left hand and your right hand swift around all the way to that corner. Look at your hand. I call it the Wyatt because of the painter. He has this Charlotte's dream, I think, or something like that. And bring it back. I should check the name. And take it to the other side. Sweep the left hand to the upper corner of the back of the room. Left upper corner. And you're looking the same direction as your hand, and you're stretching. There's a stretch going on between the fingers of the left hand and the toes of the left leg. Let's take one more time to each side. This time maybe lifting the pelvis. So I'm stretching and then whoop, lifting those. Maybe even stretching the back, opening the chest, a little bit like flipping the dog or wild thing. Breathe. Take a moment to be here, and then set it all down and take it to the other side. So legs first, hand, stretch, lift it up. Then, if you want to stay here, great. If you want to open your chest a little bit like flipping the dog, that's an option. Breathe into that beautiful stretch. And lower it down. Back to the same position as we were before. Tuck the tailbone in. Lean back. Hands can be in front of you or under your knees, whatever it is. Suck the belly in. Tucking the pelvis will do the work that the core needs. You don't have to do a lot of impact in order to awaken the core. But if you want a challenge, you can lift the legs into boat. Whatever it is, hold it still from the center. Bring that navel in and up. Open those chest muscles. And release, bringing the soles of your feet together, giving yourself a little bit of a stretch. You feel it in the lower back, and that's because your hip flexors are connected to the back. So opening the legs, stretching the hip flexors, and releasing also the SI joint is so important after core. So just stretch it just a tiny bit, not too bad, and flip yourself to table. Just awakening of the core, not the whole core set, so expect more. And then here again, exploration time to just fire up everything, back and forth, awakening the wrists this time, somatic movement, cows and cats. You can also open the knees and circle the hips a little bit. We warm them up, so no need to warm them up more, but it feels fun. So just do what you need to do in order to fully awaken the spine, the big joints, but mainly the wrists. So push into the wrists, stack your shoulders over, no matter where you are, even if you are forward, right? Always stack the joints. It's really important. I love to move from side to side and push into the fingers, and then come at some point to child's pose to have a wholesome breath. Come back to table, tuck your toes under, come to hero, stretch those feet, and circle your wrists. And here you know, you do you. So there's so many options. You can stretch the inside of your hands. You can also do it like so. It's really a good practice to stretch everything. The other side as well. Open and close, shake, maybe infinity, maybe just moving the hands like a hairdresser. Whatever it takes to make sure that it feels warmed up. Sometimes just clenching your hand onto the wrists with the other hand will do the trick. So be sure to find your repertoire. And whenever you're ready, come back to table, untuck the toes, give it a little bit of a tap. Again, pay attention that your wrists are stacked, your knees are under your hips, tuck your toes under, and bring those hips up and back to downward dog. Stretch the hamstrings this time. You can bend your legs as much as you need. Roll those shoulders back. Now try to do what we did in the warm-up when you crunch your shoulders in downward dog. Crunch your shoulders and then roll them away from your ears. Try to do that a few times to feel the difference in the body when you actually lower those shoulder blades to the direction of your lower back. And then release the head. Say yes and no. So it's just hanging there, really doing nothing. And walk the dog maybe a few times, pedaling the heels, just to enjoy a stretch. Option here to rotate those heels from side to side together. I like to keep my legs straight, so I drop the hips a little bit. And this is, by the way, the counter pose to the Wyatt pose. Andrew Wyatt is the painter. And then at some point, if you feel you moved enough and had enough breath in these stretches, find your stillness in downward dog. And then a little bit of core activation. Lift the right foot off the mat just to a hover. The leg is straight, but it's really very close to the mat. Then shift your weight into the right hand and try to do the same with the left hand. So both limbs, left and right, both limbs are hovering and you're balancing. Lower it down. Very hard to do with just a little hover. Let's try the other side. So lift the left leg just to a hover. So the foot is basically where it was before. You're just lifting from your hip a little bit. Then shift your weight into your left hand and lift the right. So both limbs are kind of straight, but you're balancing. Now this is a lot of work for your core. So suck it in. And release. Walk the dog one more time. Breathe. And then bend your knees plenty to a hover. Look forward. Walk to meet your hands. Circle those wrists a little bit. That was intense for them. Release the head. And then have 2 wholesome breaths in forward fold. Bend the knees plenty. Release everything from your hips up, including the neck. I tend to hold it and look down. Release. Breathe. And on your next inhale, you may help yourself come up with hands on your thighs or completely use your core. It's warm. And come all the way up to a standing position. Flip your braid back and stand up. Let Your body rearrange itself around that center that you found, hopefully, in the beginning. Roll those shoulders open. Open that upper chest. We tend to do this, especially women, because we have a front baggage. So we do this, but also computers and whatnot. So today, a little bit more love to the pectoral muscles. Big breath in and lower those shoulders down. It doesn't mean you have to be here. On your next inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Maybe look up and then come all the way down, back to forward fold, hinging from the hips, bending the knees. Release the head. This time maybe grab hold of opposite elbows and move, sway from side to side, bending or shaking the body a little bit. Explore a little bit of an unstructured movement here. And again, don't pay attention to the form. That's not important. Nobody cares. It should be a really good felt experience. And come to stillness with your breath. Let it lead you. And on your next inhale, release the hands, bring them to your shins. Come to a halfway lift, core engaged. Roll those shoulders away from your ears. Look down, pointing with the crown of your head forward. Don't lock the knees. If you want more, open the hands to a T. Hold it here. If you want even more weight added, bring the hands over your head. You will feel the activation around the core, not only the belly. The back is working really hard here. On your next exhale, bend the knees plenty and come on back down. Placing the hands on the mat, walk those legs to plank. Stack the wrists under your shoulders here too. Always an option to lower the knees. Tuck the tailbone in, but straighten your back. Remember the pectoral muscles? Open them up here as well. So you're not rounding, you're opening, rolling the shoulders back. That's why it's called plank. And on your next exhale, come all the way to the mat. Tucking those elbows in, untuck your toes. And breathe. Keep those elbows tucked to your body. Roll the shoulders down. Activate the legs and come to baby cobra slowly with your breath. And release. Push to table. Push to child's pose. Option 2, drink some water, use your towel. And breathe. One more breath. And come back to table. Tuck your toes under. Push up to downward dog. Do whatever you need to set it up into stillness, to settle up or in to stillness. Open that back. Now the more you let the head hang, the more the hand open the pectoral muscles, the hands and the forearms and the arms, the more your chest opens up in downward dog. And then suck the belly in. Push down. Beautiful. Bend those knees to a hover. Look forward, hop. Or walk to meet your hands. Forward fold, a little bit more intense. You can modify here to anything you need, either holding the legs behind your shins, on your calves, or the heels, or none. And if you are intensifying the forward fold, on your inhale, you push those hips up. On your exhale, you pull in. So maybe the forehead comes closer to your shins. And release activation. Bend the knees first. Hands to the mat. Maybe cha-cha-cha just to release the tension of the pose. Breathe. And on your next inhale, bend the knees and come all the way up to mountain pose. Hands can circle sweep up and come to heart center. On your next inhale, circle sweep the hands and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're not staying, but maintain that strong core we did before. Exhale, hands to the mat, maybe jump to plank. If you do it soft. Chaturanga Dandasana is next, but there's always that option of coming to the mat and doing baby cobra. You choose you. If you're doing Chaturanga Dandasana, please open the chest first. Push with your fingers, with your toes forward. Keep those elbows in. Come down, but no lower than your elbows. Then untuck your toes. Inhale, push up through your biceps and look up. Roll those shoulders down. Your hips may be in a hover or not. Exhale, tuck your toes under and come to downward dog. So again, pectoral muscles really need the help in Chaturanga. I'm just going to show it again. I never go under my elbows. It's always here. My shoulders above my elbows and the elbows tucked in. Okay? Great. Some water if you need. If not, stay in downward dog. Walk the dog, stretch, whatever you need. And breathe. Beautiful. On your next inhale, right leg goes up in the air. Bend the leg and maybe flip the dog. If you do, please pay attention to shoulders stacked over the left wrist. So I'm not going forward, not going back. One more breath. Bring the hand first, lower those hips, and then come back to three-legged dog. Beautiful. Lift the back heel off the mat, bend the right leg into your chest, and step it in between your hands. Now I've been doing a different kind of twist here, so I'm leaving the right hand on the outside of my right foot, then lower the back heel as if you're coming to warrior two, but not yet. And then maybe your right hand is tented, the fingers, or on a block, you choose. But then make sure your knee is stacked over the heel. Open the left hand to the sky. If you want to go deeper, just open those hips a little bit. Lower the shoulders as usual. And hold your core. One more breath. And on your exhale, indeed push up to warrior two through the core, slowly up. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior. Hold it here for a breath, a wholesome breath. And come to warrior two again. And then right away to side angle. So forearm on my front thigh, left hand to the sky, roll those shoulders down. Don't crunch them up. Engage glutes, so push them in. On your next exhale, come back to warrior two. Lift the back heel, rotate hips to the front, slowly and with control. This is mobility. And then shift your weight forward, bend the knee a little bit, and bring that left leg to meet the right, straight ahead to chair. You can do chair, any configuration of the hands, even dancing. But see, down, make sure you're seeing your toes. That's it. That's all that I care about. Also, tuck the tailbone in. Inhale, come all the way up. Engage glutes before coming to a baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment to come back to the yoga and to the breath. And on your next inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Forward fold, hinging from the hips, pushing the hips back, not the knees forward. Inhale, halfway lift, a strong one. Exhale, plank. Hold it in plank for 2 breaths. You can lower your knees, stack those joints, tuck the tailbone in, and open the pectoral muscles. So it's like someone is coming behind you where your shoulder blades meet and pushes it down, but without doing this, just the upper body. Chaturanga Dandasana is next. Push forward, halfway down, upward dog, downward dog, or baby cobra. It's up to you, you guys. Take a breath to set it up, to be present. And on your next inhale, left leg goes up, bend the knee, open the hip a little bit, and then maybe flip the dog. If you do so, stack the shoulder over the wrists. You might want to adjust. Breathe and push those hips up. And then lower the left hand and the hips first before coming to 3-legged dog again with the left leg up. Lift the back heel, bend the leg to your chest, and step it in between your hands. So once again, a reverse kind of twist here. Left hand on the outside of the left foot. Lower that back heel as if you're coming to warrior 2. And then open the right hand to the sky, paying attention to that left knee. Don't let it go nowhere. You can even push it with your hand, with your left hand inward. Lower those shoulders, one more breath. Start hardening the core, engaging everything you've got to come slowly with your breath to warrior 2. Take a moment to breathe. It's intense. It's small but intense. Flip the front hand and reverse the warrior 2 breaths. Right hand can do whatever. I like it around my back. One more wholesome breath. And on your exhale, come back to warrior 2. This time going straight, flowing to side angle, forearm on the thigh. Right hand to the sky, small adjustments. Roll those shoulders away from your ears. Engage glutes so you're pushing the hips forward. Not forward to the mat forward, but to the side forward. And then come back to warrior 2. Lift that back heel, rotate the hips forward, a little bit of mobility. Then bow a tiny bit forward, bend the knee, shift the weight. Come slowly and with control to chair. So it's a dance, right? It's all about activating those little balance movements and muscles to make everything you tell them to do around that center. And that center, I found out, is merely focus. So if you're focused, it happens. On your next inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky, activate glutes, baby back bend. Drop the head and breathe. Come back to standing. Just a little bit of a stop here. So hands, interlace them over your head. Switch palms of your hands up, exactly as we did in the warm-up. Tuck the tailbone in. Push those hands back as far as you can and drop the head forward. Tuck the tailbone in is essential. Try to keep the hands straight as you can. And bring those hands in, as before, hands in your lap, but we're standing. And drop the head back, but not the shoulder. Don't crunch the shoulders. So I'm just dropping the head, nothing else. Maybe round the head from side to side. Release the hands. You can bring one hand on top of the head and then to the other, just to kind of feel good again with the neck. And indeed, back to the vinyasa. Inhale, circle sweep the hands to the sky. Flow down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, strong core. Exhale, plank. Hold it for 3 breaths. So you see the theme here. Always can lower the knees if compromising that upper body and tucking of the tailbone in is too hard. One more wholesome breath. And Chaturanga Dandasana, back to downward dog on your own breath. Do whatever it takes to come back. And I'm reminding you, you can drink anytime, you can stop anytime, you can adjust stretches anytime and modify poses. I will wait for everybody. And on your next inhale, right leg goes up. Lift the back heel, bend the leg into your chest. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it like an inch shy from your hands. So just behind your hands. Then lower the back heel, stepping the foot a little bit forward just so you can lower the heel, okay? And then come up to warrior 1. Usually that does the trick for me, but you might need to adjust the feet to your own needs. I've been saying it a long time. Both legs don't have to be straight. The back leg can be open a little bit if it's better for your hips. Try to square the hips a few times, lower those shoulders, and as I said, we're taking care of pectoral muscles, so interlace the fingers behind your sacrum. I like it when the students know where the teacher goes. No, I love it. Open it. Inhale. Look up. Engage the glutes and the core, and only then humble the warrior. Now, once you are stable and you keep on pushing those feet into the mat, only then release the neck and lift those hands so you have an extra stretch there. But if you do that, keep on rolling those shoulders back. It will create a different stretch here. One more breath. Lower those hands to your sacrum and come on up, releasing the hands and bringing them over your head. Breathe. Straighten the front leg, but don't lock the knee, and come to a pyramid pose with hands extended. So this is basically what we did in halfway lift with the right leg forward. Again, don't lock the front knee. It's very tempting to do so. Square those hips. Hold your breath. Bring your hands to interlace behind your sacrum. You're in halfway lift. And then lift the hands. Suck the belly in. Activate the core. Look down. Release the hand. Bend the front leg. Come back to warrior 1. So we're basically just rolling and opening the pectoral muscles. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward, stepping or pushing with the back toes, and then come to stick pose or warrior 3. Option to interlace the fingers behind your sacrum, you guessed it, and open the hands up. Different, I know. Bend the standing leg, bring the left hand to meet the right, chair, and roll those shoulders open. So my hands are behind me still. Yep, you got the theme right. Exhale, bring those hands in front of you. Inhale up, exhale, heart center. So a lot of work on the shoulders, roll them a little bit. Maybe shake the hands, a lot of work there. We are also working without really mentioning it. We're working on all the C6, C7 vertebrae that always give us grief. And that's that movement that everybody does. Great. How we doing? Good? I'll take it as a yes. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Take it to your vinyasa, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, jump to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana or baby cobra. Do it with your, you got it, breath. So again, work on that upper back. Release the neck. Let it be free. Breathe into it. And on your next inhale, left leg goes up. Lift the back heel. Bend your leg to your chest and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it just shy of, the line where your hands are. You know where you're going, so set that back leg to a comfortable position and come up to warrior 1. So warrior 1, shoulders are down, but the hips are square. That's the beauty of the pose. Interlace the fingers behind your sacrum. Inhale, open. Open first, look up, engage the glutes. And then humble the warrior slowly and with your breath. Keep on pushing those feet into the mat just to create stability. And only then lift the hands to the sky. Maybe gaining a little bit more of a forward bend. Keep engaging the feet into the mat. That will help your hips to be square. Breathe. Lower the hands to your sacrum. And come back to warrior 1. A little bit of a stretch here is always nice. And what did we do before? I'm blacking out. We came to warrior 3, right? Okay, so we're just gonna go to warrior 3. I was wondering if I did the chair here or after, but now I remember it was after. So shift your weight forward into stick pose. And this time, if you want, you don't have to. Interlace the fingers behind your back again and open that chest as we did in humbling the warrior. Nice. Bend the standing leg. Bring the right leg to meet the left with the hands behind your back and stay in chair for a moment here, shooting those shoulders down. Then release the hands, bring them in front of you. 2 breaths here. And come on all the way up. Baby back bending, engaging the glutes. Come back to Tadasana. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. 4 breaths. So again, the knees are always accessible to lower them. Push the chest open, but don't curve your back. Tuck that tailbone in. Look to the front of your mat. And be strong. Suck the belly in, engage the glutes. The more the body is one unit, the easier is to carry it. It's like a chain. All links have to be strong, otherwise one breaks, right? And on your next exhale, come all the way to the mat. Slowly if you can. Untuck your toes, windshield those legs. And come back to center. On your next inhale, come to baby cobra. Hold it for 1 breath. Maybe lifting the hands. And release. Next set, you can come to baby cobra or locust. So hands go behind you to the sides of your body. Option is the theme of the class, to interlace the fingers and roll the shoulders back, okay? And then come up. So big breath, roll it up. Option 2, bring the legs up. One more breath. Release. Breathe. Wholesome breath, last set. Again, you can come to what we did before, baby cobra, or my favorite lately, skydiver. So if you come to skydiver, bend your hands to a W. And then lift the chest, not too high. Then bend the legs and the feet in flex and lift the thighs. Hold it here, look down. Open the chest. We're not about high, we are about opening the chest. Push those shoulder blades together. Push those glutes up. One more breath. And release. Push to table. Push to child's pose. And maybe a drink of water, towel, some cursing at the teacher. Anything goes. So I love lately the skydiver because of the activation of the glutes. Because when I lift the legs up, I just feel it here, especially if you keep the feet in flex. And I don't compromise my integrity in the upper body because I'm opening the hands. My 2 cents. Come back to table. Come back to downward dog. Walk the dog a little bit. Stretch. Breathe. Compose your heart. Let it go. There is so much beauty in effort. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up, lift the back heel, and step the leg outside of your right hand, setting up for lizard. So, this time around, you can go deep into your forearms, but stick with me as we are going to open the right hand to the sky to a twist that is a complementary twist to what we did in the beginning. So, if you are here on your forearms, great. If not, on the palms of your hands, shift a little bit into the left shoulders, but don't collapse into it. Either way you are. And then open the right hand to the sky. Option to lower the knee behind you if it's too much. Now roll those shoulders down. Feel it. Feel it opening your chest. Option to bend the right hand behind your back. Yes, behind your back, Lisa. Keep on twisting, opening the chest, pushing into the forearm or the hand, the left one. And unwind slowly. Take a minute in lizard. Breathe. And now push back up to your palms of your hands if you were on your forearm. And this is not something for everybody, but I'm cueing it. If not, just push the leg back to plank, okay? If not, do what I'm doing now, which is straightening the leg and then rolling it around, okay? Nice. It's hard. It's side core, and it's nasty. Roll back to downward dog. Walk the dog. It's nasty, but it's so good. And it's also preparation to flying split, I think, or hovering split or whatever. So much to learn, right? Isn't it beautiful? We never end. And once again, set it up. It's a short sequence, so just give it your all. Lift the left leg, lift the back heel. Bend the leg to your chest and step it outside of your left hand, right? So here, start modifying it to your body. Maybe you stay on the palms of your hands. Maybe you come lower. Maybe you lower the knee. Whatever it is, you are strong on the right shoulder. You are not collapsing. Core is engaged. And then with your inhale, open the left hand to the sky, start your work. So there's a lot going on. We're opening the hip, but also the chest. Roll the shoulders down, and then maybe left hand bends over behind your back. So you can do the twist of opening some more, reminding you to push into the elbow or the right hand. So the whole right arm goes behind your back, not only hand. Bring it back up and unwind. Whew. Come back to the palms of your hands. Again, you can just let the left leg go back to plank or straighten it up and around straight to plank. Very, very hard. Took me like a year to do it. And now release yourself to the mat. Breathe. Open your hands to a T. And scorpion stretch is next. Lift the left leg. Bend it and lift it up a little bit. And then start rotating onto your right shoulder, pushing that leg back. So the foot should meet the mat behind you. The left leg straight, the head just hanging. Option to bring the left hand behind you to grab that foot. Option, both hands to grab the foot. If you're wondering what I'm doing, just look at me. Yes. Nice. So rolling on the right shoulder is so good here. And release. Bring the hand first back to the mat so you have support to roll back in. Open the hands. Take a breath. And bend the right leg. Lift it up and start that pushing to the back behind you, rolling onto the front of your left shoulder this time. So the foot meets the ground, release the neck. Then hand can come to the foot, maybe both hands behind you. It's kind of like a half bow rolling on your left shoulder. Open that knee to the sky as well. Don't let it flop down. And bring the right hand back to the mat first, and then start bringing yourself back to your belly. So, one more core set, which is basically a back bend, but it's only one set. So hands over your head. You can do it with the hands go up and the legs, or only the hands. You choose. Obviously with the legs it's harder. But we're working the core here from the back. They're all connected. So 10 pumps up. Ready? Head still stays still in between your hands. Don't move it around, okay? Okay. Lift those hands to a hover, and those legs if you want, and pump up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push to table. Push to child's pose and breathe. So that is a beautiful core engagement. No impact exercise. Do it as much as you can. Babies do it all the time. That's why we put them on their belly. Because it makes the spine strong for them to start walking. Think about that. One more wholesome breath here. And then push back up to table, back to downward dog. A mini stretch, and then walk the hands to meet your legs. Forward fold, maybe a little bit of a swaying around, releasing lower back tension, neck tension, shoulders, a little bit of a shake, 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 bending the knees before coming up. So on your next inhale, circle, sweep the hands up, rising up into a standing position, hands to heart center. Take a minute to realign standing up. So different, right? From working on the belly and all that, all those shenanigans. Just keep on breathing, coming back to that inner focus, that center of your being that basically has no size. It can include the whole world. And in fact, yoga says you are the whole universe in one. Big breath, a little bit of balancing before the long and beautiful stretches. Nothing too fancy, just tree. So tree is your choice. We're going to do 2 sets. So the second set we can take it to toe standing, balancing toe stand, or stay in tree. It doesn't matter, okay? So shift your weight into the right leg, bend the other, and I am mirroring you. And then come to any variation of tree you feel is you. It's either the shin or the inside of your thigh or on your thigh. If you are on your thigh, this is preparation for toe stand. And what you have to do is push the hips into the foot and open the knee back. So it stays there. Hands can do whatever. Obviously, you can always hold the leg, always. Hands can come to heart center or to Prayers over your head, grow some roots, engage the glutes. And then a little bit more of an activation here by shooting up, growing taller from your hips up. It changes the pose. And release. Try to release slow and breathe. Movement of the hips is always welcomed in between sets of balance, because balance is the pelvis. And then the other leg. So shift into your right leg this time. No, the other way around. Into your left leg and lift the left. I may have confused you, but you guys are doing great. Then choose your variation of tree. So again, if the foot is on top of the thigh, you can either hold it or push the hips forward, engaging the glutes, and then open the knee. It will stuck the foot there. And then hands do whatever. Breathe and start growing taller from your hips up. Maybe stretching the hands up or not. And release slowly as you came. Another movement. This time around, you can stay here or come to toe stand. Toe stand is recommended if you have healthy hips and knees, and obviously heels. There was a time I couldn't do it, my heel would give in. So, old injury. So be aware of that and listen to your body. It's a lot on one foot. So, we're going to start with standing left leg, right leg comes up to tree. Your choice. Remember, you can stay here or start humbling, hinging from the hip, bending the standing leg so you're not locking it. Once you are low enough, bring the hands to the mat, then lift that heel before bending and coming onto your toes. Okay? We never want to lock any joint in movement. And then if you are here, engage the balls of your toes and engage the glutes and maybe bring the hands up. And release, only because I fell. Come on up, you could have stayed. And the same slow uprise and release of the leg. So the more you control the coming out of the pose, the more easier it is to get into the pose. It is called reverse engineering. And take it to the other side. So shift. Come to tree. Whatever tree you need. You can stay here or work on your toe stand. Again, hinge forward, not locking the knee. Then, when you're close enough to the ground, release the hands. Bend the knee, lift the heel, and come down. Hands go behind where the legs are, so you can start straightening yourself up. Engage the glutes even here. And then maybe hands come up. And release, back down. Remember, in movement, you want to be bouncy. Never lock your joints. Release the leg. And just a little bit of this. And Gloria set the tone. We come to, you read my mind. I always do this. Come to yogi squat. The way I cue it is opening the feet a little bit to a Charlie Chaplin stand. And hinging back first. So this is halfway lift. Soft knees, and then rotate the hips forward. So it's kind of like a whoop, scooping movement. And then some work, some internal work by locking the Mula Bandha, the inside core, and opening with the elbows, rolling the shoulders down. Don't forget, we're giving love today to the pectoral muscles, so don't roll them in, out, and stand tall. One more breath. And then release, activation. Feel it in the body, what it means to just be here with no activation before releasing the bum bum. Releasing the legs forward. A little bit of a shake, shake, shake. I sweated today, you guys. It's not that I don't sweat in other days, but today was special. I don't know why. And on your next exhale, come slowly, transition is a pose. Come slowly to your back, tucking the tailbone in, but opening the chest. Right. All the way down. Take a moment to release the body to the mat. Maybe roll those shoulders down and open the palms of your hands to the sky. And on your next exhale, bend the right leg to your chest. Wind removing pose, interlace fingers onto your shin, pull the leg in and then away from the rib cage. Option to open the leg all the way to the right. And I'm dimming the lights a bit sooner today. I feel like less of a light would be right. And then bring that, if the leg was straight, bring it back to a bend. And bring the right leg to your chest. And then lead the right knee with the left hand to the left. So a nice, scrumptious twist. Option as before, to straighten the right leg by holding it with the left hand. And if you can't straighten it all the way, that's fine too. It can be bent. And then bend the leg back in. Bend and extend a few times the leg to the sky, or do whatever you need to just relax it, and then switch legs. So the left to the chest, interlace fingers and pull in. Now some teachers say you have to activate, well, nobody says have to, but they cue to activate the right leg. I cue to relax it, but by all means, if you feel better the other way, do you. So I say relax the right leg, because then I have a nice stretch to the hip flexor as well. If you need, you can open the left leg to the left, kind of a dancing king on the floor. Make sure your shoulders are touching the floor. Not the front, but the back of your shoulders. And then bend the leg back in and take it to the twist. And again, indulge yourself in the feeling of the stretch and the twist. not the form. The form here is just a facilitator of the breath, of the stretch. Option to straighten the left leg with the right hand. Again, you don't have to go all the way straight. A little bit goes a long way here. And release tension, bring the left leg back to center, roll your back to the mat, and bend and extend the leg a few times, maybe even circle it in your hip. And then bring both legs into your chest, give yourself a big hug, maybe rock from side to side. So nice here. I call this pose free massage. Option to come to happy baby, which is opening the knees to the side, lifting the feet, holding the feet with your hands, and rocking from side to side. And as usual, if you feel like you need to stretch those legs a little bit more, that's always an option. Or just hug yourself some more. Then bring the feet to the mat in front of you and bring the tip of your fingers to touch the back of your heels. That's where they should be now, okay, if that's available to you. And then just tuck the pelvis in, lift it off the mat for a hover. We're not going to bridge, just baby bridge. And this is one of my favorite exercises lately. It is a stretch, although it doesn't feel so. So tuck the tailbone in and engage the lower core, the mula bandha inside, and then lift your hands over your head. Then tuck the chin in. Option to bring the hands behind your head, as if you're going to do a crunch sit-up, but it's not, okay? Or hands over your head. Then tuck the chin in. You're going to feel that cervical spine pushing to the ground. So your intentional work here is to flatten the back of your neck to the mat by tucking the chin in and pushing the back of your head either to the ground or to your hands. And don't forget to tuck that tailbone in. So lower those shoulders as well. Imagine all that upper work is flat, like a paper, like a piece of paper on the mat. One more breath and release. Let the legs windshield a little bit. And then, indeed, last pose of the day, unless you need anything else before, Shavasana. So by pushing the head into the mat as we did before and tucking the chin in and just layering everything to the mat, you unroll your shoulders, which was kind of the theme today. Allow yourself to observe the hard work. Feel the sweat, feel the heat. And at the same time, come back to the breath. Let it lead the melting sensation, the flattening of the body onto the mat. The actual feeling that you are getting heavy with each breath. And then allow yourself to enjoy this doing nothing pose. The letting go and the self-care. A few silent breaths. And if your mind wandered, take it as a compliment, for you have given it freedom. But if it wanders to bad thoughts and negative feelings, come back to the breath. And then start wiggling your toes and your fingers. And maybe introduce some larger movement to the body. I like to stretch in stick pose on the mat. Just like after a good night's sleep. And then push yourself to one side. Allow yourself to feel a baby again. Push away the negative and be held. And then push yourself back up to a seated position. And breathe. As usual, I never take for granted anybody that chooses to practice with me. And I really, truly enjoyed it today. I knew it's going to be a great class. I have beautiful ladies here. So the spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste. Yay! And don't be sad. I loved you guys in the internet too, but now we have to say bye.